I remember when this game first came out, it basically killed my laptop. I am super excited to introduce you to Golda Grabbar. Get it? Gold grabber? We could have like a real extravagant wedding, but I have a feeling that pretty much everyone in the town hates them now since they're both cheaters.
Son of a bitch!
A lot of other simmers in the community complain a lot about The Sims 3 and say that the graphics are just so terrible and that they've aged so poorly. I don't necessarily feel that way. I still think that this is an absolutely beautiful game. Hey everyone, it's Ian here with Nostalgic Games, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we are playing the Sims Gold Digger Challenge using The Sims 3 base game only. I'm super excited to play today, but before we dive in, let me share with you the rules and guidelines for this challenge. So this is the Ultimate Gold Digger Challenge, and the first rule is obviously to create your sim, and once you've created them, they have to have the Gold Digger Lifetime Wish, and then on top of that, they have to have the traits of being a flirt, a mooch. They also have to have commitment issues, which is going to make it a little bit more challenging to get married. And then the other three traits are entirely up to us based off of how we want to create our sim and the rest of their personality. The second step is to obviously move them into their home. Now they can live in any town, but since we're playing base game only, I think our only option is Sunset Valley. Once our sim is moved into their starter home, we have to have their funds as low as 1,000 simoleons or even 500 if we want the challenge to be even more difficult. They're gonna have to mooch off of other sims or be really thrifty with their money, but the whole point of this challenge is to not be making any money until we inherit the money from the rich sim that they go after. So then the third step, which is the most important step, is to find our prey. We must have a sim who is rich in the game. Doesn't matter if they're married or not, but you must of course flirt with them, become romantic, and eventually convince them to break off their existing relationship if they have one. Get married to that rich sim, move into their house, kick out the ex if the ex is still living there, and then have a baby with your rich spouse. Once your sim is pregnant, kill the rich sim off, collect your money, and go on to the next sim. And then step 4 is to just keep repeating this previous step, step 3, until there's no rich sims left in the neighborhood. Sounds pretty epic, and I'm super excited to try this out. So without further ado, we're gonna dive into the Sims 3 base game. All right, so we're gonna be playing off of the good old Sunset Valley. Yeah, and here is that epic slow loading screen. Gotta love that. I remember when this game first came out, it basically killed my laptop. I had so many performance issues with this game when it first came out. A lot of other simmers in the community complain a lot about The Sims 3 and say that the graphics are just so terrible and that they've aged so poorly. I don't necessarily feel that way. I still think that this is an absolutely beautiful game, and with the right hacks and performance mods, you can make it even more stunning today than it was when it was originally released. All right, so I went ahead and already created the Gold Digger for today's challenge. She's sitting here in the sim bin. I am super excited to introduce you to Golda Grabbar. Get it? Gold grabber? I love that name I gave her, and if I do say so myself, I think I did a fantastic job on creating her. Everything you see here is base game only except for the hair. It is custom content. A lot of the base game hairs in The Sims 3, they're just a little too basic, and I do think that the hairstyles and the clothing are definitely what date this game. So I gave her a little bit of a makeover into 2024 by downloading some custom CC hair. I kind of based Golda here off of a lot of the stage moms that live here in my neighborhood in LA. I took some inspiration from that. I love her cheetah print shirt and her acid wash jeans with the rips in them. She probably bought them from Abercrombie. And her personality traits have to be commitment issues. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and remove all of these current traits. I got my cheat sheet out here for all the rules because I can't retain all that information. Commitment issues, flirty, and a mooch. I do have a feeling that the commitment issues trait is going to make this pretty challenging because she's not going to want to get married. Well, I'll make her a great kisser. That will definitely work in our favor. And then we have one more trait that we need to find. So a schmoozer might work to our advantage as well. It says they're really good at befriending neighbors, coworkers, and sucking up to their bosses. Even though she's not going to have a job, I think that this trait might work to our advantage as well. And then obviously we want to give her the gold digger lifetime wish, which once she completes it, it will give her, I think, about like 20,000 lifetime happiness reward points, which will make her pretty happy for the rest of her life. So the end goal is that she has to see the ghost of her wealthy spouse, which I think is pretty funny. Oh no, the house you've purchased appears to have suffered from a water breakage. Would you like to accept the challenge of dealing with the flooding? Let's go ahead and accept it. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, everything's broken in the house. All right. And she has very, very, very little money in her accounts. Her household funds are 229 simoleons, so even worse than the initial challenge suggested. So we're going to go ahead and maybe sell a few of these things. Okay, so now she's up to 529 simoleons. We're just going to sell everything in the second bedroom since she only needs one bedroom. And yeah, we're not supposed to be using any cheats in this game, which is going to be rather hard for me because I am not a player who likes to sit here and fulfill needs all day. I already have a pretty good idea of who is rich in this neighborhood. I did play off of this neighborhood a lot when the game first came out, so we might be going after the Goths, the Landgrabs, or the Altos. We have some options. Already, Golda wants to know if Christopher is rich or not. It says your sim wants to know about the personal wealth of someone else. Converse with potentially rich neighbors or visit their homes to find out. Golda learned that Christopher is unemployed. All right, not the right candidate for us. Let's go ahead and go into map view. God, I miss the open world. This is just so fun. The fact that there's no loading screens and you can go anywhere your heart desires. So if you are not familiar with The Sims 3, there's a lot of lore in this game as well, but the timeline actually predates both The Sims 2 and The Sims 1. This is supposed to be like the story before The Sims 1. So Bella and Mortimer, for example, are children in this game, and some of the iconic characters like Dina and Nina Caliente haven't actually technically even been born yet. So that's why we have Golda here. She kind of predates the Calientes. Maybe she's like the original gold digger. If I remember correctly, the Altos are kind of like mobsters and deviants and kind of mean-spirited. So they might be a little bit harder for Golda to kind of wiggle her way into. I feel like the Landgrab family might be a little bit easier of a shot. And I want to be as strategic as possible here. I don't want to be here for like 35 hours trying to marry a rich sim. So maybe we'll start with the Landgrabs and see how that goes by visiting the household. It says Joffrey is out at the library right now. Okay, well, that's good to know. We'll go stalk him at the library. All right, Golda, let's find Joffrey. Where is he? There he is. Oh, his damn wife is here though too. The whole family's here. So we got Joffrey Landgrab, Nancy Landgrab, and Malcolm Landgrab. And fun fact, all three of them make a resurgence in The Sims 4, but it's an alternate universe in The Sims 4. The timelines are non-existent and the characters are completely different. All right, so she's going to call Joffrey over to her because we don't want to be flirting it up with him in front of his wife or child. That might not go over too well. Love this nice little library. It's a little dated looking, but it's still cute. All right, she's going to try to charm him. I've queued up just a bunch of social interactions to build a baseline of a relationship before we go in for the big kill, trying to flirt it up with him and seduce him. All right, she's invited him over to her place, which is a little risky because isn't he going to realize like how broke she is? I love these cars. Look at all of these cars. And I love that they're taking a taxi just to go up the street. So funny. You got to get back to work on building up this relationship. Let's compliment appearance and see how that goes. Okay, they're friends now at least, so that's good. Oh, her place is a mess. Why did she bring him over here? If you guys are wondering about all these little notifications I have in the corner, I do have the NROS story progression mod, which I highly, highly recommend. It just makes the gameplay so much more fun, way more dynamic, and it just changes up every time you play a new save file. So things happen like more randomly and automatically than with regular story progression. He must be pretty dense if he doesn't realize what she's after. Oh man. Let's have some nice stimulating conversation. And after that, some stimulating sex, because she's digging for gold here after all. No more small talk. They're already best friends, but he hasn't accepted any of her romantic interactions yet. He's already getting into bed with her. I've never had this happen before in The Sims 3, where I have tried to build a romantic relationship and it's just completely platonic. So bizarre. He like spent the night in bed with her and he rejects all the romantic interactions. This is going to be a challenge. Golda slept in while Joffrey went off to work, but he wants to talk to her on the phone, so maybe things are going in the right direction. Oh, here's Malcolm. Malcolm's going to invite us inside. We'll just mooch off of him. Hi, future stepson. I mean, I think Joffrey's eventually going to have to come home, right? Where is the dude? Nancy only cares about her appearances. She could care less that Golda's here trying to take her husband. All right, I think he's finally accepting the advances. Maybe he just needed to sleep on it. Ah, all right. She's asking him to break up with Nancy. Let's see how it goes. He's like, you know what? She's a bitch. You're right. I'm going to just dump her. So Joffrey says, you know what? You're right. Things are over between me and Nancy. Nancy might be pretty upset with you though. And now immediately they are enemies. Like Nancy hates her. All right. So another day has passed and we're going to go ahead and have Golda here get into something a little bit more formal and ask her man out on a date. They're not technically boyfriend, girlfriend yet. So gotta change that up now that he's dumped Nancy. Oh, there's Nancy. She just walked by and she was so pissed.
Son of a bitch.
That's hilarious. I love that. In the presence of an enemy, that was her moodlet that she just got. All right, after just trying more and more social interactions, they are finally boyfriend and girlfriend, and she just had the proposed marriage option show up, even though she has commitment issues. So this is great. We got to go for it right now, or we're never going to have the opportunity. And he's a hopeless romantic, so this should work really well in our favor. Here we go. She's going to pop the question. He said yes. He said yes. I love it. We could have like a real extravagant wedding, but I have a feeling that pretty much everyone in the town hates them now since they're both cheaters.
Son of a bitch.
So let's just have the wedding here and right now. They're getting married right now, you guys. Aw, how cute. Aw. All right, well, we're getting Golda all moved into the house. And since she proposed the marriage, it's funny, it actually gave Malcolm her last name, which is a little funny. That's how it works in the Sims world, but we can change that at City Hall, which I might do later. I want her to be a land grab now. She wants everyone to know how rich she is. All right, so the next thing we have to do is she has to get pregnant with his child, and then he needs to meet his early demise, whenever that's going to be. And then we're pretty much going to win the challenge, and she can go on to the next sim after that. I am having a lot of fun with the Gold Digger challenge, but I definitely think I am all gold diggered out today. So we will revisit part 2 in the next series of this Let's Play. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time, and I'll see you soon. Bye.